Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T.
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text PREP to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text PREP to 42424. That's PREP to 42424.
This is Paul Feinbaum. That'll do it for me today. Coming up next, The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
The sound of the organ. The crack of the bat.
It is gone.
The sight of watching the ball go over the wall. And the taste of peanuts and Cracker Jacks. There's nothing like it. It's America's pastime. From the first pitch to the final out, you can hear every game right here on your home for Alabama baseball.
Your home of the Alabama Crimson Tide is 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Would you call a plumber for a root canal? The same goes for selling your timberland or farm. Choose someone who understands your property and can help you on the front end so you can capitalize on the back end. I am Bo Butler with Southland Realty and Auction. As a guide, I have put many hunters in position to take a shot. It's time for you to take your shot. Let's talk about putting you in position to sell your property. Call me at 256-609-0512. Remember, Bo knows land.
Organizations using Salesforce know how powerful the platform is and how much time, money, and headaches it saves if it's set up right and you know how to use it. Let's face it, Salesforce is complicated and time-consuming to figure out, and a lot can go wrong now and down the road without expert help. That's why most Salesforce users work with an implementation partner like Higher Echelon, so they get the absolute most out of their Salesforce investment. Higher Echelon is a 5-star Salesforce consulting partner who won Salesforce Military Hiring Partner of the Year. President Dr. Joe Ross is retired Army who played and later coached for the cadets. He puts that experience to good use at Higher Echelon, where they pride themselves on hiring veterans. Look, not all Salesforce partners are the same. Don't put your company at risk by going with an inferior partner. Higher Echelon is the trusted partner you can count on to get you up and running and seeing returns on your Salesforce investment in a fraction of the time it would take if you go it alone. Go to higherechelon.com. That's HIGHERECHELON.com to learn more. Go higher and go Army.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Is your concrete sinking? Whether it's your driveway, sidewalk, or patio, those uneven surfaces are not just ugly, they're dangerous. That's where AFS comes in, a groundworks company. They use state-of-the-art concrete lifting solutions to prevent tripping hazards, and they're the best at what they do. Schedule your free inspection at afsrepair.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job. It's a good one.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Are you tired of power outages disrupting your life? It's time for a Generac standby generator from Current Electrical. Storms may rage outside, but inside your family's powered up. So why choose Current Electrical for your generator needs? 1, we offer a wide range of models to suit every budgeted energy requirement. 2, our project managers handle every step of the process: power, gas, permitting, and inspections. 3, our certified technicians install your generator with precision, ensuring peace of mind. Don't wait for the next blackout. Call 256-880-1880 or visit us online at jetsuperstore.com.
Online at 977ESPN.com.
Stream them online.
Call in.
It's an important job, and it's an vital organization.
Tweet in and join in. We are 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. WCZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. This hour is brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford, Alabama's F-150 Superstore. Welcome to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, 256-576-4977.
That's how I roll. And I'm not going to drink and drive anymore.
That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Wes and Steve.
Hey, Brian, I can't hear anything in the headphones. Is that supposed to?
You know, I don't know what's going on with that. I was listening earlier. I'll tell you what. Is it turned up over there on the headphone box?
I can't hear you at all.
Oh. Well, this is curious. I tell you what, folks. We're going to take a break real quick. We're going to help Drew get set up. You are listening to The Drive on 97.7 ESPN Zone. Steve Moulton's out. He's covering some things. Wes Neighbors has come in. He's getting settled. Drew DeArmond is our special guest host today. What we're going to do is we're going to run a break real quick, and then we'll get things sorted out. And when we do, we're going to get everything back on the go. So give us a minute. We'll shake the bugs out and get back.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Ford Motor Company. From America, for America. Hi, folks. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford with a real quick quiz. Out of all the manufacturers, do you know which auto company employs the most hourly workers in America? Ford. Do you know which company assembles the most vehicles in this country? Ford. That's not just a coincidence. It's a commitment. A 120-year-old commitment to build in America for America. And during this unprecedented moment in automotive history, you stand to benefit big time. Woody Anderson Ford is now offering employee pricing. You pay what we pay. We've got over 190 F-150s for you to choose from with generous finance rates and the best deals of the year on America's best-selling truck for 48 years in a row. Employee pricing can save you thousands off MSRP, and with over 600 Fords for you to choose from, there's a good chance you'll find just exactly what you're looking for. This offer ends May 31st, so hurry in. Woody Anderson Ford.
This segment of The Drive is brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford, located online at woodyandersonford.com with 2 locations, Hughes Road in Madison and Jordan Lane in Huntsville.
Welcome to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, 256-576-4977.
That's how I roll. And I'm not going to drink and drive anymore.
That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Wes and Steve.
And welcome, everyone, to the Tuesday edition of The Drive.
Hey, sometimes you just got to drop back and punt, right?
Yeah, we had to punt. The draft is Thursday. We're going to talk Tennessee Titans today, and they have the number 1 overall pick in the draft. In a few minutes, their color analyst since 2017, Coach Dave McGinnis. He's going to be working with Taylor Zarzour now this year, though. The longtime voice, Mike Keith, has moved on to be the full-time voice of the Tennessee Volunteers with the retirement of Bob Kessling, and he will be the voice of the Vols in the fall. But Taylor Zarzour and Coach Dave McGinnis will bring you Tennessee Titans football, and they have the number 1 overall pick in the draft, and it's going to be a cool location this year. I'm actually digging the fact now that they moved the draft from city to city. It used to be in pretty much New York every year. Now they're taking it on a tour throughout the NFL, and this year, Green Bay, Wisconsin. What a historic city, what a historic place. And the home of the Packers is going to host the NFL draft. Pretty cool stuff. The Titans have the first pick, and that can create a lot of excitement, but it can also mean that you didn't have a very good year last year, and the Tennessee Titans are rebuilding. And we'll see what Coach Dave McGinnis' opinion is on what they should do with this number 1 overall pick. Wes Neighbors is with me. Wes, what's going on, man?
I'm doing good. Good restart.
Yeah, absolutely. And, we did punt to start it, but we're not punting now. And,
It was 4th and 25.
Yeah, well,
one button can ruin a beginning of a radio show.
And we'll ask you, Freeze, about grave diggers and 4th and 31 and all that stuff. But again, the Titans look like they're locking in on Cam Ward, the quarterback from Miami. I'm not necessarily in agreement with that. I think this quarterback class is weak. And I think sometimes, and they always do, overdraft at the quarterback position. I think they should go for the best player in the draft. And to me, the best player is Travis Hunter, the Heisman Trophy winner, a guy that plays both ways. And if I were the Titans, I would draft him. You've already got Calvin Ridley, and I would go trade for a quarterback. I'd trade for a veteran. Their defense was pretty good last year, and I think they could turn around quick. I'd go get a Kirk Cousins maybe that you could get for cheaper. You wouldn't have to take on his whole salary. And I know he has never won a Super Bowl, Wes, but he's won playoff games. He's been a winner, and I think he could be a bridge for a couple of years when you rebuild this team. But I'm not the Titans, so we'll see what they do.
Well, didn't they just draft quarterback 2 or 3 years ago?
Yeah, Will Levis from Kentucky in the second round, and he hasn't worked out. I could have told him that.
I don't know about this Cam, how he might be right tutelage. To me, it's all about fit.
Yeah,
and to me, you got to give who's the head coach for the Titans now? I don't even know.
Callahan.
He's a decent coach, but
he's an offensive guy.
Yeah,
and I guess that's why they're leaning.
But is he even getting to say? Does he get to say who he wants to draft?
Well, that's a great question. I mean, and they also got rid of Carthon, their GM, so they have a new general manager and a new and they brought their head coach back. So it's going to be a little dicey, I think.
Yeah, so I'm like you. I think you trade for somebody, get somebody in there, draft a quarterback in the second or third round. To me, you got to be able to protect your quarterback. I don't know what their offensive line. I know when Mettenberger went there, when they drafted him, their offensive line was terrible. Then they drafted some guys, and all those guys are gone now. But they drafted some guys and they got better. And then, of course, they got rid of Mettenberger as well. But they got better. So, to me, I would go later. I'd draft quarterbacks in the later round and get somebody like a Kirk Cousins or like someone that has some experience and try to build from there with a quarterback to take over, kind of like what Green Bay. Green Bay has been so good for so long. They've had some down years when they got people hurt, but they did it by
trade and draft because Brett Favre fell in their lap when the Atlanta Falcons traded him.
Right.
And then the same thing, Aaron Rodgers, some thought would go number one. He didn't. Alex Smith did, if I remember correctly. And then he dropped in the draft to the point where the Packers were able to get him, in the 20s. But then he waited behind Brett Favre for a few years and then developed and did a nice job and became one of the greats. I just think if you're the Titans, they think the quarterback is going to turn you around quickly, but you're making a point of a lot of times you have to build around said quarterback.
You better.
The quarterback, like Cam Ward, you're not going to be able to just wave a magic wand and he's going to make everybody so much better.
If he doesn't go to the playoffs the first 2 years, they're going to get rid of the GM. They're going to get rid of
because they only give you like 2 years now because I will say this, because these contracts are not $40 and $50 million guaranteed money. And so if the quarterback doesn't make quick progress, they'll a lot of times for what we did to start the show, they punt and move on. And because I thought Mac Jones got a raw deal and the Patriots weren't patient enough with him, they didn't build around him like they should have. And then before you know it, he's now a backup in the league. So I do think they give up on quarterbacks. I mean, think about this. There was thought midway through last year about Bryce Young in his second year, not even a month in, that they benched him and they're thinking we may need to move on from Bryce Young. And I'm sitting here thinking, the Panthers are the worst organization in sports. Like, what are you doing? You've got to build around the quarterback. And so, and that's why Andrew Luck's career was shortened, because he was a great talent, should have been a Hall of Famer in my opinion. But the Colts weren't smart enough to build an offensive line and to improve the skill players around him. too many people, it's the hero ball thing. Like, okay, this quarterback's going to elevate everybody around him, and that's just not the way the game works to me. You gotta build.
Well, you got to have a quarterback to win in the NFL. There's no doubt about it. It's a quarterback-centric league.
It is.
But it's also rookies usually don't get you there.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Historically, they do not get you there.
No, the rookie year is rough.
Yeah. So
the adjustment period.
Yeah, and to me, the NFL is a lot. Except for all the stupid penalties they call, it's fun to watch. I mean, I can't stand early in the year because they're not any good because they hadn't practiced. They don't even practice anymore, so they're not like they used to be. Like they, you know, to me, college football is so much fun. It's fun to watch because you have so many different styles.
Yeah,
it seems like to me in the NFL's like it's not like it used to be because you see like the Baltimore Ravens running different offenses. Used to be everybody ran the same offense,
cookie cutter everything.
Yeah, until except for Jerry Glanville and June Jones and them.
Yeah, run and shoot,
which is, I mean, we ran the ball as much as we threw the ball. We just started out throwing the ball to run the ball.
Set up the run.
Yeah, so it's a little different. But when you watch, everything else was cookie cutter.
Yeah. And
everybody's running the same stuff, and it's like they were scared to do anything different. Now there's a bunch of different ideas in the league, and I liked that part of it better. I just don't like the way the officiate.
I think they rush them, and I think they rush the players sometimes.
Yeah, well, because they're paying them too much. The quarterbacks are paying them, although they're not like the contracts like you mentioned. They're not like they used to be. They're still highly compensated people. But everybody knew Will Levis was a
project.
Mm-hmm.
Just like Jalen Milroe is going to be. He could boom or he could bust, but he needs to go to the right situation and be developed.
Yeah, if he plays next year, he'll
he's not ready.
Yeah, he's not ready.
No.
He doesn't like to get hit, first of all.
Yeah.
And when you run like in the NFL, you're going to get hit. Not like they hit them in college, though.
Yeah. Well,
but when they do hit you, I mean, they just fall on you.
Well,
penalty, even though they throw a flag, it still hurts.
Yeah, it does. There's no question about that. But we're about to go on our first break here on this Tuesday edition of The Drive. Drew DeArmond in for Steve Moulton, and he's on assignment tonight. West Neighbors with me. We're going to talk to Dave McGinnis since 2017, the color analyst for the Tennessee Titans. He's going to join us next on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline after this break to talk Titans draft.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Ford Motor Company. From America, for America. Hi, folks. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford with a real quick quiz. Out of all the manufacturers, do you know which auto company employs the most hourly workers in America? Ford. Do you know which company assembles the most vehicles in this country? Ford. That's not just a coincidence. It's a commitment. A 120-year-old commitment to build in America for America. And during this unprecedented moment in automotive history, you stand to benefit big time. Woody Anderson Ford is now offering employee pricing. You pay what we pay. We've got over 190 F-150s for you to choose from with generous finance rates and the best deals of the year on America's best-selling truck for 48 years in a row. Employee pricing can save you thousands off MSRP, and with over 600 Fords for you to choose from, there's a good chance you'll find just exactly what you're looking for. This offer ends May 31st, so hurry in. Woody Anderson Ford.
Eagle Masonry and Installation. It's right there in the name. Eagle is your one-stop shop for block, stone, or brickwork, monument signs, and outdoor kitchens and fireplaces. Eagle also offers the finest craftsmanship and insulation, including fiberglass or spray foam insulation, and of course, insulation removal. Philip Love and his team have years of experience, bringing the region the best in masonry and insulation services. For more information and a quote, visit insulatewitheagle.com or call 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Hey there, everybody. Bob Baumhauer here, letting you know that we understand that times are tough and we truly believe value matters. So, by popular demand, we brought back our Inflation Bites menu featuring scratch-made meals that will make the whole family smile and your wallet, too. Menu items start at just $7.99, and any entree comes with a free beverage. Try our classic tailgate burger for just $8.99 or our hearty Bam Bam chicken platter for $9.99. Baumhauer's Victory Grill. Legendary fun, legendary food.
Rocket City, for air that's cool and clean, contact Sensa Green Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Get HVAC smart with Professor Green and the expert team at SensaGreen.com. Now offering up to $1,500 off any new Bryant system. Whatever it takes, Sensa Green has Huntsville covered. Remember, folks, with innovative, sensible green solutions, contact Sensa Green Heating, Cooling, and Insulation.
Are you tired of chasing a roofing contractor to show up on time or even show up at all? I'm Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Our motto at Fleming Roofing is we show up. Our goal at Fleming Roofing is to provide the reliable customer service that you deserve, and we have the resources to meet all of your roofing needs: residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. We are manufacturer certified for roof coatings, single-ply membranes, and asphalt shingles. Whenever you need a roofing professional you can count on, call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We are committed to finding the solution that meets your needs. We don't have quotas or heavy-handed sales tactics. Fleming Roofing, we have expert experience. We show up. Free estimates, residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. Check us out at FlemingHSV.com. FlemingHSV.com. When you need a quick response, it's Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
This segment of The Drive is brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford, located online at WoodyAndersonFord.com with 2 locations, Hughes Road in Madison and Jordan Lane in Huntsville.
Welcome back to The Drive, and this is Drew DeArmond in for Steve Moulton. West Neighbors with me. And we're going to be honored now to be joined on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline since 2017. The color analyst for the radio broadcast team for the Tennessee Titans. If you've watched NFL football for a long time, you know this next guest. He did a great job coaching in the league for a long time. He's also a college football coach, a defensive back in his days at Texas Christian University, and then in the NFL before becoming a defensive coordinator, linebackers coach, and now transitioning to his role with the Tennessee Titans as the radio analyst, and that is Dave McGinnis. Coach McGinnis, you're with Drew DeArmond and West Neighbors. How are you, sir?
Hey, guys. Yeah, thanks for having me on. We're a couple of days away from the NFL draft, which, captures a lot of attention in the football world, so here we go.
Well, and the Titans have the first pick, and they're going to be the talk of the draft, because when you have the first choice, you can rewrite your franchise's history here. I know you were a defensive guy, and you believe in that side of the ball, of course. But the Titans, we keep hearing that they're locked in on Cam Ward and wanting to go in a new direction with the quarterback, new general manager. Of course, Coach Callahan going to be in his second year. He's an offensive guy. But what are your thoughts on what the Titans are going to do with that first pick, Coach?
Well, I know they're going to stick and pick, because that's what they said they were going to do today. When we had a press conference with Mike Borgonzi and Chad Breaker, and then, of course, head coach Brian Callahan, they were asked that question, and they were pretty straightforward, said they're going to stick and pick. Look, I was the head coach in this league too, so I like defensive. I like good players, offensively and defensively. So where they are, I've been involved in this is my 39th draft, guys. 39 in a row in this league. I've only been involved in one number 1 pick. It's when I was assistant head coach there at the Rams, and we traded with the Titans to move up and take Jared Goff when we first moved to LA. And so there's a lot of work that goes into that. If you earn the number 1 pick, I've never earned the number 1 pick, but if you earn it, then you need to take advantage of it.
So is there any percent that they'll trade down and get more draft picks?
They said they were going to stick and pick. I've got to believe them.
And so, and I think so. I think they're going to take who they believe is the best player in the draft. I really love Travis Hunter and what he can do on both sides of the ball. He's a dynamic guy, and I know they're building a new stadium there. They've already got Calvin Ridley. I've said on my show that I felt like they should take him and then trade for a veteran quarterback. But quarterback is the most important position in the NFL. They feel like they need to go a different direction. I know you've been breaking down these guys. What is your thoughts on Cam Ward, Coach, as you've watched him?
Well, I mean, look, this guy. He's got an immediate release. He's a great competitor. He can make throws to all areas of the field. He's a very loose quarterback. Some guys at quarterback. Again, as I say, I've coached against just about all of them. In the 31 years I was coaching in this league, and there's all different types. But where he is he's accurate. He's a good field general, and he's got enough arm to get it to where you want to go. And plus, they spent a lot of time vetting all of these guys. They haven't said they're going to take a quarterback. They've said they're going to stick and pick with the first round pick. That doesn't mean they can't trade that second round pick. But you asked me about Cam Ward. I think he's a consensus number one quarterback. We just put together, myself and our executive producer, Rhett Bryan, we put together a vertical and a horizontal board, a draft board. It takes us about 4 months to do it. Watch about 300 players on tape and put them in pods. That's what you do. You put them in pods because you have to evaluate your board vertically and horizontally once a draft starts, and then a draft as it continues. So he's our number one quarterback, myself and Rhett Bryan, and so I think a lot of people have him as the number one quarterback too. And you're not going to have all 32 teams agree. I've just been doing it long enough to know that not all 32 rooms are going to agree.
And then, of course, as we know, Coach, you're right. They're not all going to agree. But where they are right now, I wanted to ask you too about another couple of the guys that you've watched. We just mentioned Travis Hunter. Are you of a belief? You coached in the league 31 years. We haven't seen it happen often, but ever since this kid came out of high school, I've had people calling my show telling me that he was a different breed. Do you think Travis Hunter is good enough to where he can play both ways in the NFL?
Yes, but I think it's going to have to be. Look, once you get into this league, he's gonna do a lot like his mentors. I coached against Deion Sanders all the years he was in this league, various teams I was with. But you're going to have to major in one of the positions and then minor in the other one. I think whoever takes him, wherever he goes, they will. He wants to play. I mean, in evaluating the tape, I have very seldom seen a guy play that many snaps and be as viable in the fourth quarter, both sides of the ball, as he was in the first quarter. He's a unique athlete. He's extremely flexible. He's got elite hand-eye coordination. There's a lot athletically to like about him, and plus, there's really a lot to like competitively about him. It was unusual, and it was fun to watch him. Do I think he can play both ways in this league? Yes, but he's not going to play 90 snaps on offense and 70 snaps on defense. He's going to have to major in one and minor in the other. But does he have the athletic capability to do it? Yes.
And, of course, you were a defensive back in your career, and you coached defense throughout your time in the NFL. It would seem to me that he would be the most value as a shutdown corner. As you said, you coached against his college coach, Deion Sanders. He was known as a guy that could shut down one side of the field. As a value for a guy like Travis Hunter, do you think he's more valuable in offense or defense? To me, I think he'd be more valuable as a corner, but I'd love to know your opinion after watching a lot of tape.
Well, my opinion is whatever he majors in, he's going to be at the top of that list. Whatever he majors in, this guy's a special, as you said, he's been a special athlete. A lot of it depends on, too, the makeup of your team. What do you have on your team, your present squad? Where do you need the most help right now? You're going to get help on both sides of the ball, but wherever he goes, they will make that determination. Now, of course, the player, he said, I want to play both ways, because that's what he's done his whole life. It's a little bit different animal, as you well know, in the National Football League, but wherever they decide to major him, he's going to help.
He really will. There's no doubt about that. And as you look at the needs, you guys made your draft board for and ranking the players, but going into this draft, you of course you've done the Titans game since 2017. What are their biggest needs in your mind as they go into this on Thursday? We know that they certainly want to upgrade at quarterback, but what are the other needs that you think they need to attack right now, Coach?
They need to attack the receiver room, and they need to attack the edge rusher room. Those are two right now. I mean, there's a lot of slots on this team that are open. I mean, there's, as I say, and they said it today in the press conference. You've got a lot of places to fill. They've got a chance, to start this thing with these 8 picks that they're going to have. So there's not going to be any position that if they draft them that they won't need them on this football team. But the two rooms right now, in my humble opinion, that are light as far as numbers and contributors are at the receiver group and at the edge rusher group.
Yeah, and here's the cool part about the draft for the Titans this year. You've got we talked about Cam Ward, we talked about Travis Hunter, but you've got Abdul Carter too. So there's a guy at those 3 key spots. When you're picking number 1, the best QB in the draft, the best athlete in Hunter, and then Abdul Carter, a lot of people believe is the best defensive player. He's an edge rusher. So no matter where they went with this number 1 overall pick, if they chose one of those 3, that's a huge need that would be addressed by the Titans, Coach.
Yeah, well, I mean, you just named the top 3 guys. I mean, I've got look, these guys' names have been in my head for 4.5 months. I can tell you by memory who's at the top of the boards, and they're all 3 of those guys that you just named are at the top of their position board.
They really are, and so it's going to be a time for the Titans to turn this thing around. There's no question about it. And as you said, they're going to stick and pick, so they're going to address. I've got to believe it's going to be one of those 3 guys. Cam Ward seems to be the favorite, and then I know you were around. You said when they took Jared Goff, who I know he had to restart his career a little bit, but he was productive. Got the Rams to a Super Bowl. Then he's, of course, we know he's done a nice job in Detroit. So that pick worked out. If you are the Titans and you draft Cam Ward, if you're Coach Callahan, how do you kind of bring this guy along in your mind?
Well, he knows how. He's already done it with one number 1 pick in Joe Burrow when he was with Cincinnati. He knows.
Good point.
I know what we did. With Jared Goff, and we vetted 2 guys during that draft that had the possibility of going number 1. With Jared Goff, and you go deep into vetting these guys, and we did he and Carson Wentz. Those were the 2 guys that were 1-2 in that draft as a quarterback. And so we did a lot of deep research, a lot of personal meetings. You cover a lot of bases when you're thinking about doing that. But Brian Callahan, he said it today in their press availability. He said, "I've been through this before. I have done it," and he did it recently with Joe Burrow.
So, is there anybody with Joe Burrow-like talent in the next, either this draft class or the next draft class?
I spent 4 months on this draft class. I can't even begin to think about next year's draft class. I always want to be honest with you guys when I'm on with you. You're kind enough to have me on, so I'm not going to give you a lot of fluff and BS. I haven't even thought about next year's draft.
And that's to be expected. I mean, you got to focus on it on a year-to-year basis. This year's quarterback group is not considered, I guess, as deep as others. But we know there's Shedeur Sanders out there. He's gotten some buzz. Tyler Slaw, I know from Louisville. I know his arm talent's being talked about a bunch. And again, the Titans could, if they decided not to draft Cam Ward number 1, I still think they could address quarterback in this draft, no doubt about it. But Coach, like you said, they also need to address edge rusher. They need to address wide receiver. And I would think if they go Cam Ward number 1, that second round pick near the top, when you're talking about in the top 35 picks in the draft, I would think that edge rusher and wide receiver would be near the top of the list with all the because this seems like a draft with edge rush talent and pretty deep wide receiver group.
Yeah, well, the edge rusher is the deepest group. You're 100% right. As I said, I've worked 39 drafts in a row, and what you look at the numbers, but that 35th pick, because it's the third pick in that second round. See, I go clear back to the draft as to when they had 3 rounds in one day, and then your 4th round was when you reset your board. Now everybody will have their board reset after the first round. You got a lot of time to think about it. That 35th pick is a very, very valuable pick too, both to yourself, and then if you talk about trade capital, which you talk about, when you're looking at your board and you're trying to discern what everybody else is doing, 35th pick is a lot of draft capital. So there's a lot that you can work with that pick. But you're right. I mean, and there will still be receivers, and there will still be edge rushers at that 35th pick. You're correct about that. That's a valuable pick right now.
So, is there any way Tennessee doesn't pick a quarterback in the first round?
I can't tell you that. They said they're going to stick and pick. I'm not in those meetings. For 31 years, I was dead in the middle of those meetings. I'm not a decision maker anymore. I've gotten a lot smarter now that all I've got to do is talk about
That everybody does, right? It gets a lot easier, right?
So I promise you, 31 years I've been in that room on the phone, for 31 drafts. It's a lot less stressful just talking about it than it is executing it.
Well, and Coach, I know, of course, they didn't have the season they wanted last year in Coach Callahan's first year. They made a change at general manager. You talked about the needs of this football team. What going into the draft in your mind, roster-wise, what is the strength of the team? Is it on the defensive side of the ball?
Well, I mean, you got 2 premier defensive tackles on this team
Simmons,
right now.
definitely.
But the way that it works now as a rush unit, you need guys that you can be able to roll in there. You've got two viable NFL backs that are really good. You've got one really good viable NFL receiver in Ridley, and they've reworked the offensive line. You got 3 number ones on that offensive line right now. You reworked the offensive line a little bit. Brought in 2 veteran free agents there, one at guard, one at tackle. So they've done something in the free agency to be able. But this team, they've said since Mike Borgonzi came in here that this is, and Chad Brinker, this is going to be a draft and develop team. So we go back to the draft. They stayed pretty true to their word. Everything they said they were going to do. So yeah, I mean they're gonna. This is a process now of starting to rebuild this football team.
It really is, and then and of course, as you said, up the middle is where you got to be strong. They do. Jeffrey Simmons is a great player. I mean, they have done a nice job. I think their defense is close to being really good. It'll be interesting to see if they can find the right edge rusher in the draft to kind of put them over the top. I thought their defense last year was improved. I thought they did a nice job. I just feel like they needed to be more consistent behind center at the quarterback spot. Really was a good signing and a good trade. I think he's a good, really, as you said, he's an A1 level NFL receiver. As far as offensively, Coach, besides the quarterback position, you said they needed to address wide receiver. What kind of shape is the offensive line in for them right now? Because that's such an underrated part of helping a young quarterback be able to play at a high level.
Well, I mean, they've strengthened it, and that, it was an issue, last year. Last year, and when you ask, you say, well, what are 2 things as a coach that you would like to rectify from last season? It's protection. Protect the quarterback and protect the football. I mean, those are 2 things that were huge last year. Turn the ball over way too many times, which is a huge detriment when you're trying to win NFL games. And then the protection of the quarterback, and so they've handled it with the offensive line with the changes that they've made there. And then, of course, the execution on the offense, when you have the ball, you can't afford to give it away. I mean, that's just paramount. Those 2 things have to change this year, regardless of who they got playing.
And then J.C. Latham, they invested in him with the 7th pick in the first round last year. I know he played left tackle in his rookie year, but from what I'm hearing, he's going to move to his more natural spot at right tackle. He was a dominant right tackle at Alabama. And to be honest with you, you've watched the way the NFL has evolved. I know the left tackle has always been considered kind of the premium, but now both the right and the left side, the tackle spots, you got to be good at both spots to be effective in the league.
Well, yeah, because look, I mean, defenses now, and especially because most everybody's working 11 personnel, even on first down, which is 3 wides, 1 tight, 1 back. And so when you are, and when you've got those sub packages working, nickel defense now is a base defensive package. And so when you're working that, defenses, what they do is they find matchups either on the left or the right side with the edge. So what you said is 100% true, because the league, again, I've been in it 39 straight years. I've seen the iterations change in this league, the way the game is played offensively and defensively. But the one thing that's extremely, extremely important, that's why defensive tackles are getting paid so much now. Now you're starting to attack that center guard triangle even more to try to get matchups, on the inside, because with the RPO and the ball coming out as quick as it is, it's really hard to get there consistently off the edge.
You got to be disruptive up the middle. That's 100% correct. Is that the biggest change that we've seen in the last 5 to 10 years offensively? Because it used to be, Wes Neighbors and I were discussing this before you came on, that the league was a cookie cutter league in a lot of ways. A lot of people did the same concepts offensively. Now, some of the stuff we're seeing in college football, the zone read, the RPO has kind of filtered down to the NFL.
Well, yeah, because that's the type of players that are coming out of college. That's what you're drafted to, and you're correct. It's exactly right. When I first started, I was fortunate enough when Mike Ditka hired me, 39 years ago, that we had a great defense. But I had 3 All-Pro linebackers, but we spent a lot of time working on that fullback power O lead downhill. You don't see that a lot anymore.
No.
Now they got you spread out, and offenses have changed too, but the thing that's important is if you still got to get good players, and then you got to focus your offense and your defense as to what they can do the best. But it's changed a lot because, as you well know, it used to be, first and second down, it was either 21 personnel or it was a heavy personnel. Then on third down, you'd spread out and throw it a lot. That world's changed.
It has. It's changed. It's changed a ton. And now, but this is a golden opportunity for the Titans. If you get this right, you can turn your franchise around quickly. We saw where they changed general managers. I think some people around the NFL were surprised it happened, but they've made the move now. They've committed to Coach Callahan. And now and as you said, they want to be a organization that builds from within and builds through the draft. And to me, that's how you have to win in this league. I think free agency is nice and everything, but you got to draft and develop the right kind of talent. What are your thoughts on the new general manager Borghese and the direction he's taken the franchise?
Well, look, he's got a lot of experience. We've got a very experienced front office now. Chad Brinker, I think with Chad Brinker and Mike Borghese and Dave Ziegler, they've got among the 4 of those guys in red, they've got 4 guys that have 9 Super Bowls among the 4 of them. There's a lot of experience in that room, a lot of experience.
Well, we certainly are looking forward to the first pick and seeing this Titans team try to get it turned around quickly. Borghese and the front office, they certainly have a chore ahead of them, but certainly can take some huge steps forward. And I think they got some pieces in place with J.C. Latham from a year ago, moving him from the left to the right side. I think is going to help tremendously. As you said, they have building blocks inside. You've got to be good inside at defensive tackle to win in this league. But the Titans being on the clock, it's going to be a very, very interesting Thursday to see what they do in round 1. And then the meat of the draft, though, Coach, and it's kind of the most fascinating. Of course, you want to hit a home run with your first pick, but those second, you already mentioned the 35th pick being very important, but you said they have 8 draft picks. Those 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th round picks are very important as well.
Oh, well, look, I've coached in my career at 6 Hall of Famers, and some of those guys, Aeneas Williams was a 3rd round pick. Anquan Bolden, when I was a head coach in Arizona, I took him. That's a 3rd round pick. It doesn't matter. Once you get in the building, then it's up to you. So they can come from everywhere. You're 100% correct.
So, Coach, what are some of the mistakes that are common mistakes made in the draft?
Well, I mean, it's people judging people, and you get down to it, because the percentage of a hit. I mean, we just went over it. Look, you can have a guy, that's a free agent that all of a sudden, the way that where he's drafted, and where he's taken, what kind of club he goes to, the chances that he gets. I mean, nobody. I promise you this. I've been in 31 draft rooms and spent, over half my adult life in the NFL evaluating talent. I never ever wrote or read a report and then put a guy up to draft that I thought wasn't any good. Yeah. Did I hit on all of them? Absolutely not. So that's just what it is. You try to do the best you can, to do everything you can to get all the information, to go through your Rolodex of your experience, because you can't manufacture that experience. But still, you've got injuries, you've got circumstances, you're dealing with human beings, and you're dealing with a very, very competitive league. Because guess what? Those other 31 clubs, they're doing this, and I always said this. I made a lot of friends in the National Football League in 39 years. A lot of friends as far as coaches and players. But on Sunday or Monday or Thursday, guess what I was trying to do? I was trying my best to get them fired. That's what this league is.
Well, you've done a great job as color analyst on the Titans, Coach. We appreciate it. And I've been trying to coach myself up, because it's going to take some getting used to. Mike Keith moving on to the Tennessee Titans, but Taylor Zarzer, he got his start here in the state of Alabama. Looking forward to you guys teaming up.
Well, you know what? I'm taking Taylor. I'm taking Taylor to dinner tonight.
Nice.
I'm very excited, and you're right. Look, I was very, very fortunate to have worked with Mike Keith. I mean, a true Hall of Famer. He started Titans Radio Network here. He started it. Now he gets a chance to go back home and revamp Vols Network. You don't get that kind of chance with two career starts unless you're really good at what you do. And believe me, Mike Keith is the best at what he does.
Well, you're doing an outstanding job yourself. I enjoyed following your career as a coach and, of course, your radio career. We appreciate the time. I hope the Titans have a great draft. We appreciate you giving us some insight into what they may do. And, of course, have a nice dinner and tell Taylor Zarzer we said hello from the Rocket City of Huntsville. Thank you, sir.
I will tell him that. Guys, thanks for having me on. Appreciate you guys. See you.
Thank you. That's Dave McGinnis. We're going to take our final break, and we're going to wrap things up for this hour of the drive here when we get back. Phone lines open to you.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Tom Luganville here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed mold, mildew, bowing walls, or water in your basement? I hope not, but if you have, your basement is losing the war against groundwater. That's where AFS comes in, a groundworks company. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to waterproof your basement and stabilize your walls. Schedule your free inspection at afsrepair.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for detail.
Hi, this is Wes Neighbors. I'm here with Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Sam, tell the folks about Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Hey, Wes. Our company, Fleming Roofing and Restoration, specializes in commercial and residential roofing and repairs. I'm a fifth-generation Huntsvillian, and our family's been doing construction business in Huntsville area since 1965.
Sam, what kind of roofs does Fleming Roofing and Restoration do?
Our guys are skilled enough. We can come out and address any kind of leaks or issues you might have on your commercial, on your metal roofing, on your Your shingles, we can do anything, and we can offer you a solution to repair it or we can replace it.
But you guys also do insurance restoration.
Our staff has 10 plus years of experience as insurance adjusters, and we really do know the inside and out of the claims process at Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Check out Fleming Roofing and Restoration online at FlemingHSV.com, or you can call or text them at 256-651-9440.
Hey, Wes, we show up.
I'm here with Thomas from Talkin Heating and Air. With the temperatures going up and temperatures going down right now, now is a good time to get your heating and air system looked at. Thomas, when somebody calls, you guys answer.
That's right. The phones are staffed by us. They're manned 24/7. We're ready to come out and take care of you that day.
How do they give you guys a call?
You give us a call at 256-503-4490.
And you can find you guys on the World Wide Web at
TalentHVAC.com.
And now is a good time to do this because you guys are offering a special deal.
That's right. We're doing $49 tune-ups this spring. We're also doing free second opinions. We offer that year-round. Somebody comes out, they say you got a bad compressor, leaking refrigerant. Give us a call, see if we can save you some money.
Thomas from Talkin Heating and Air. Thomas, one more time, that phone number.
256-503-4490. AL certain number 21014.
Tom Abraham back from my friend Ross Roberts at Valley Equipment Rental. It's springtime, so let's get that garden tilled with a tiller from Valley Equipment. And while you're at it, snag a power washer for the house and the driveway. And if you're putting in a sprinkler system, they have the small trencher that you need. And you can even rent a Skag zero-turn mower and much more to get your property in shape. Valley Equipment, not just for the contractor, but the homeowner as well. 2 locations on the North and South Parkway. Valley Equipment Rental. Learn more at valleyequipmentrents.com.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. Relatively warm as we head into the overnight. Temperatures only dropping into the upper 50s and lower 60s, but we're going to maintain the opportunity for a little bit of rain. A mostly cloudy to overcast sky once again as we head into your Wednesday. A couple of peaks of sunshine here and there, but otherwise we're talking about a mostly cloudy sky. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 70s. We're also maintaining the opportunity for some scattered showers and thunderstorms. The good news here is that no severe weather is expected and the day is not going to be a complete washout. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
The best in local sports talk from the 256. We are local.
When you're number one, you don't have to worry.
We are award-winning. Thank you for listening. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You'll be set for life.
They say the road's to me. And from what I see, I believe I'm not the old, maybe better, breather, but the heart.
Nothing like Huey Lewis in the news on a Tuesday. One of my favorite bands growing up. Makes me feel old now, but still. Love Huey Lewis in the
There
news.
you are old.
Yeah, I am 50 now. I am. I really am.
That's cute.
Like some of my
That's cute.
Well, I mean, I did have friends joke with me like, you can get senior coffee now and stuff. I was like, well, I hadn't really thought about that. But,
Well, you're just a couple of years away from sitting at the round table and complaining about the government, Fulton.
yeah, there you go. There you go.
I saw Huey Lewis lose twice in Huntsville.
Did you really?
Once it was after a Huntsville Stars game.
Wow.
And they did a great job. And another time they were at the Whistle Stop Festival.
Oh, nice.
And they played like it was an arena. They did a great job.
Yeah, they're awesome, man.
And if you ever read about Huey's story, it's I'm a big fan.
Yeah. I always was a huge fan growing up. We had a vinyl record collection when I was growing up. We had their records. I wonder how much they're worth. I don't even know if we still have our record collection. My mother could answer that. But I
weep every time I think about what I've lost in my record collection.
Yeah, we had Thriller, we had Guns N' Roses, we had all these great albums, man. And records are done.
Threw them away.
Yeah,
I had help.
Well, now you don't even have. Well, come on.
My guy on his third marriage loses some things along the way.
Well, that's true, but you also CDs are even gone. Like I have a new car, they didn't have a CD player. Because I asked him, I was like, "Hey, where's the CD player at?" Because my one 10 years before did. No, they don't do those anymore.
My
it's all
truck's got a
streaming.
cassette player.
Yeah,
and,
wow.
But it doesn't work because I go, oh, cool, I got a cassette player, and 3 of my cassettes were too old and just gummed the thing.
Oh.
So now even that doesn't work.
Dang, man.
So I listen to 97.7 the ESPN The Zone all the time on my radio.
Nice.
Hi, boss. How you doing?
And don't forget our WZZN Talk Radio as well. Download that app.
We're about 90 seconds away from Trash Pants Baseball. Josh
There you
Garrett
go.
with the pregame here at 5:50. The Board Op Radio Network is over there. Jeff is poised and ready to take command of the airwaves and bring us Trash Pandas Baseball.
All right.
Yeah, and it should be nice and cool out there. Good weather. We had some bad weather this morning, but it's gotten out of there now. We do have one announcement to make too. Samford, Alabama baseball. I know we do carry Alabama baseball here on 97.7 The Zone in SEC play, but that game with Samford has been delayed 30 minutes there. I guess there's still some rain over in the Birmingham area. That just went up on the social media account for Alabama baseball, just letting people know that. And the softball teams over in Montgomery, they've been playing much better lately. They are leading Alabama State in the third inning 2-0. So a couple of baseball and softball updates for the Crimson Tide as they are both playing tonight, as midweek games are almost done because we're on the cusp of May and then postseason.
Yeah, we're watching the weather here too. We got Atlanta Braves baseball coming up here in about 10 minutes.
St. Louis
Game look at
Cardinals.
the weather coming through Atlanta too. So hopefully we won't have a rain delay there, but maybe they'll get the game underway. But we are watching it. And again, the Board Op Radio Network is ready to get you covered with baseball or sports or whatever we need to do.
Yeah, and you can call in right now. We do have a few minutes left in this hour before we go to the Atlanta Braves Radio Network. You can call us 256-576-4977 if you want to join in on the conversation. Drew DeArmond and Wes Neighbors. We just heard from Coach Dave McGinnis. And pretty good poker face there, Wes. He didn't really give away a lot, except for the fact that they're not going to trade the first pick.
No, they're not going to trade the first pick, but it sounds like they might trade the second pick.
Well, they could.
That's kind of what he hinted twice, maybe two or three times.
Yeah, it's worse than draft capital. So, he was talking about that.
Yeah, he talked about it. So I'm figuring they're going to go to a quarterback one. He mentioned the edge rusher a lot. I mean,
Abdul Carter, the edge rusher. Well, I mean, it's going to be.
But he said there are a bunch of them. He said that. So he acts like.
And receivers.
Yeah, so they might trade the second pick for two picks of the for sometimes a 35 pick for somebody that's down lower in the second round and get 2 picks out of it. We'll see. I hope, to me, they need a lot of players. It's going to be a draft thing. They have to feel good about some quarterback or they wouldn't stick there, right?
Yeah, and interestingly, we've had no pre-draft trades so far where you've had some people like trading up and positioning themselves. And now that could change in the next 24 hours. We don't know, but interestingly, but I will say, the one thing I did think Coach gave away is it's going to be one of 3 people. Very likely, I'd probably say 70 to 75% Cam Ward. But if it's not Cam Ward, it's going to be Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter. And because he mentioned those 3 guys, I think that's the top 3 guys on their board, on most people's boards. Now, there are some that don't have, Cam Ward as the number 1 overall pick or even the number 1 quarterback. So, like you said, everybody's board is not the same.
Who has multiple picks in the first round? Do you know?
Well, that's a great question because I was actually trying to pull that up earlier because I know that there's going to be look. There's never a situation where there's not any trades because there's going to be some trades. I've seen mock drafts and the mock drafts get on my nerves, but where there's as many as 5 or 6 trades. But I'm looking here right now, and when you look at it, with first round picks, to me, when I look at it. And I'm looking at if it's 1 through 32, I'm trying to see where the multiple draft picks are. And I'm looking, and I thought I saw that, but I'm going to look again. I don't know that there is anyone right now with 2 picks in the first round. My first thought was that the Saints had multiple first round picks, but I don't see them with multiple first rounders. So that's what I was looking for initially right away. And I don't see them with multiple first rounders. So that's what's going to be interesting to me. Because I think, when I look at it, I've seen, New Orleans could be in need of a quarterback because first of all, Carr is hurt and he may, I don't know how much he'll be available this year with his shoulder injury. We know the Jets picked up Justin Fields. I don't know that he's a long-term answer, but I think they're certainly going to give him this year to be able to go there. So that's the interesting part, though, when I'm looking at this draft, because there are times where you see teams with multiple first rounders. I don't see multiple first rounders in this NFL draft. But I'll be the first to tell you, besides the top 3, 4, 5 picks, I haven't studied a lot of the first round. But so far, it looks as though, Wes, it's an unusual situation, but we don't see a team with multiple first rounders this year.
Well, usually it makes it. Those are usually the guys that trade up and do certain things if they have a certain player.
Or we don't have Bill Belichick, and unfortunately,
he always traded
college,
down.
He always traded down, traded out of the first round. He liked to compile a lot of draft picks. He did a lot of damage in the second, third, and fourth round area because one of his best second round picks was Gronk, and they traded back out of the first round.
He had one of the best sixth round picks ever.
Oh, probably the best ever, and that's Tom Brady. And of course, that's in his final college game against Alabama in the Orange Bowl.
Yep,
I made the comment that, my God, we're making this guy look like Joe Montana. Little did I know he was better than Joe Montana. So
he didn't start that game.
Yeah, Drew Henson, played quite a bit because they were rotating, and Drew Henson was supposed to be an uber can't miss number one draft pick, and he never played in the NFL. That's what's so funny about the whole thing. And Tom Brady had to wait around.
Yeah, he went to the Cowboys, I think.
Yeah, and he just never developed. And then he was thought to be a really good, Major League Baseball prospect as well. So it's just crazy.
Well, if they'd kept him in the game, we'd have won that game.
Yeah.
They put in Brady. I'm like, who's this guy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Alabama blew a 28-14 lead.
Yes.
So
just an extra point in overtime. Worst way to lose a game, period.
Yeah, Ryan Flugner, his last kick at Alabama, if I remember correctly. I think he's become a doctor or something. He's done quite well for himself, but he missed that extra point to lose that.
I guarantee he's still thinking about it.
Well, and that was also, remember, Chris Samuels sat out that game. That was his.
But that's what's
game.
So frustrating. I learned something.
Yeah,
and my dad was so mad that they moved the right tackle to left tackle.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, instead of having one guy playing out of position, they ended up with 3 or 4.
And that's always a mistake on an offensive line.
Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah, it never works if you move. I remember when Alabama had to try to do that when Andre Smith got hurt and missed the 2008 Sugar Bowl against Utah. And they had to move but Mike Johnson had to play tackle. And we all know he's an All-American guard.
Yep.
Yeah.
Same thing.
They moved a bunch of guys around, and that's usually a recipe for disaster.
And was.
And, there's no question about it. But, again, I'm going to go on record again. I think the Titans should trade for Kirk Cousins and take Travis Hunter. I think Hunter should be a shutdown corner and then play situationally on offense because I think you can get away with that. I think he's a good enough route runner. He can help you, especially on some third downs. He could maybe play 30 snaps a game. I think he's extremely valuable, though, if he can take away that number one receiver. And again, you heard Coach Dave McGinnis, Coach Mack, talking about his hand-eye coordination. This is a dude that's got uncommon ball skills. This is not a DB that can't catch. This is a guy that's dynamic with the ball in his hands. And to me, I still think he should be the first pick. I don't think that the Titans are going to do that. I mean, Coach Callahan, Brian Callahan, he's an offensive guy. And when Coach Mack mentioned, the fact that, developing Joe Burrow in Cincinnati, and we know when Joe Burrow is healthy, he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league. I think Coach Callahan believes in himself and thinks he can take Cam Ward and maybe turn this franchise around. And maybe it'll work. Maybe Cam Ward is that good. Quarterback is kind of an unpredictable position.
Well, again, it's what are you running? Who fits best for the system? And, you have to me, it's the person that has to be the most comfortable is the quarterback.
Yeah.
And if you can make him comfortable, just rookie quarterbacks, so just historically have not done well in the league.
Well, and I'll just be honest. I think you played offensive line. You would agree. I think moving J.C. Latham back to his natural position at right tackle is going to be the move to make. I always thought he was a dominant right tackle. I know he wanted to be a left tackle, but, I think that was a mistake, and I think he's going to be much better off for the rest of his NFL career, Wes.
Well, and he'll also be better just because it's his second year in the league.
Yeah.
There's a lot of adjustment to go, both personally and for the football thing, but just personally moving to a new town, having all that money, this or that, the people you deal with, you're just not used to any of it.
That's very true.
The money part, I think they're getting used to that.
Well, everybody enjoy the Braves. You're about to rejoin the Braves Radio Network. Cardinals, Braves, game 2 of a 3-game set. I hope you enjoyed the drive tonight, and we'll be back talking ball in the morning, talking NFL draft from Bill Penny Toyota. Have a great evening, everybody.
Ford Motor Company. From America, for America. Hi, folks. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford with a real quick quiz. Out of all the manufacturers, do you know which auto company employs the most hourly workers in America? Ford. Do you know which company assembles the most vehicles in this country? Ford. That's not just a coincidence. It's a commitment. A 120-year-old commitment to build in America for America. And during this unprecedented moment in automotive history, you stand to benefit big time. Woody Anderson Ford is now offering employee pricing. You pay what we pay. We've got over 190 F-150s for you to choose from with generous finance rates and the best deals of the year on America's best-selling truck for 48 years in a row. Employee pricing can save you thousands off MSRP, and with over 600 Fords for you to choose from, there's a good chance you'll find just exactly what you're looking for. This offer ends May 31st, so hurry in. Woody Anderson Ford.
WCZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. Your home of the Crimson Tide Sports Network. It's roll into the 2025 season with one of the best rosters in the game.
One ball and one strike. Here it is to Riley. He hits one well to deep center field. Heading back. He just wrecked that thing. Straight away center, a homer for Riley.
Returning stars who are ready to go.
First pitch to him, and he hits one very well to deep center field. Back to the wall. Reaching for the